So, welcome to my channel. I thought I'd give an introduction to you all, seeing as I don't really star in my videos. There's a few reasons for that. The big one being for years I've had asthma, and I've now been diagnosed with emphysema. So walking and talking at the same time is not good. And also the camera picks up really heavy breathing, which sounds bloody awful, to be honest. And the other reason being is I'm a photographer. I've been photographing abandoned buildings in Germany now for over 20 years. I have always, my whole life, been fascinated with abandoned buildings. When we were kids, we were in a place called Paul Fort, which back then was privately owned. It was always exciting to get in, walk around while the owner was there with he's got some horses in there, and also exploring the place. Parts of it had not had human beings on it for decades and decades, which was always really cool. But I'll tell you about that at some other point. I'm an English guy living in Berlin. I decided to pack up my job in the UK and move to Berlin. And I wanted to study photography when I was in Berlin. When I moved to Berlin in 2005, 2006, the city there was abandoned stuff everywhere. I was like, whoa, wow, abandoned stuff. How cool is that? Everywhere I looked was abandoned stuff. I'd never seen so much abandoned stuff. So I chose to do my photography studies using urbex as a subject I pretty know well. So anyway, I digress. So also while I was studying photography, I decided to study German as well. Although my German is a long way from perfect, and where I live at the moment, not many people speak English. When I was in Berlin, I think you can get by without learning German, but I wanted to learn German. I wanted to ask people questions and things, which has proved helpful for me. Speaking to people from the DDR, I'm really fascinated with the subject of the GDR, the DDR, Deutsche Demokratische Republik. And yes, it made things easier, without a doubt. Then for years I was selling my urbex pictures on a art market in Berlin, right in the centre of Berlin. Used to quite enjoy that, even though in winter the markets, it got down to -15 one weekend. That's really hard. But anyway, it was nice, people coming up to your stall, chatting to them, showing them pictures, giving them stories and everything. So I thought I'd do something similar with this, talk urbex, a new slot on my channel. We'll see how it goes. Also, if people ask, comments down below if they'd like to see it in German. My German's not as good as my English, but I can speak German. We shall see. If somebody wants me, if enough people want me to do it in German, I'll give it a go, without a doubt. So, yeah, so I've been to many locations. When I first moved in, I was seeing places all around the city that have long gone. For example, the brewery at the back of Victoria Park in Berlin, the old railway yard, parts of it now are a nature park. Big parts of that were all abandoned. There was signal houses and small railway buildings and everything all over. And I was on my own exploring those. And obviously I came across a location for me was a memorable location I keep going back to many times. It's supposedly a bit like Paul Fort in that sense, somewhere that kept bringing me back. I have lots of good memories about. And that, of course, is Beelitz. Not my first abandoned building in Germany, but I think I would definitely say my number one place to visit. I've been there, I've no idea how many times. I've been there in summer, winter, spring, autumn, not in that order obviously. And back when I first went into Beelitz was in 2006, and it was a completely different place to what people know Beelitz now. Admittedly, there wasn't something in every single room, but there was still stuff in rooms. A lot less graffiti, a lot less being smashed up, and also a lot less people knew about it. And you couldn't see the whole place in one day, especially if you'd not been around before. And I remember first going there, and it was a February. No, it was actually nothing. It would have been in late November, early December, and it had snowed, but the snow had started to thaw out that day, and there was a bit of rain. Weather was not particularly nice at all. And I'd seen one or two pictures of Beelitz on the internet, and back then urbex was not a big thing. And I had an idea there was an operating theatre somewhere in Beelitz, and I was on for it. And I was in, I think it's the last building that actually got built out of the whole complex. And that was started building that I think in the 1920s. It's different architecture. But the hospital was way advanced of its time. Anyway, I remember walking down this sort of massive long corridor. All the doors were open and everything. And the thing that struck me, as with all those buildings back then, the strong smell of it being a hospital, even though it'd been closed. It seems such a long time ago now, but when I was in there, it'd only been closed for 10, 12, 13 years. 16 years. No, let me think. No, 14 years. We'll go with 14 years. And I was walking in a direction. I'm on my own, but not on my own, if you know what I mean. I went with a couple of people, all been photographers. Two of the people when I went, and you kind of spread out and go your own way into the location. So I'm walking down this corridor, water drip, because it's been sleeting and raining, not so nice. But as I'm walking towards this hospital smell gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and I'm like, I think I know where I am. And I come around the corner, through some double doors, and boom, there I am. I'm in the theatre, the old operating theatre. The old light hanging from the ceiling. There's a bed which wouldn't have been originally from the operating theatre. It looks like a ward bed. The smell was just really, really strong of medical stuff. And I just remember being absolutely blown away that there I am, stood taking pictures in an operating theatre. Absolutely incredible experience. Anyway, we wandered off and shot the rest of the building, which took hours just to do one building. And I said back then there was very little in the way of vandalism, there was little in the way of spray paint, which was really, really nice. And we also found an old lecture hall with all the wooden seats and everything there. And people would have been given lectures, medical lectures and such. The whole place, Beelitz, there's something about Beelitz that's just absolutely magic and enchanting. That is incredible. So anyway, I don't want to waffle on for too long because, well, this is my introduction. Hi. And we're definitely going to do some more of this. Let's call it Talk Urbex. So thanks for watching. Please, if you've been urbexing for a long time or a short time, leave your comments down below. Don't give any details of addresses or anything. And yeah, share experiences, talk urbex. So thanks for watching, take care, ciao.